All right, guys. So we basically gonna continue with this with this lab configuration for DP-300. So as you know, this is for administrating relational database in Azure. So no wonder this is a good choice to study this. I mean to know this technology. So Azure, so say DP-300. Let's go here. So you'll be able to manage Azure Database. Let's go here, SQL solution. So that's the exam, yeah. So watch TP-300 web video. Let's see what that is.
Hello, and welcome to the Microsoft official exam prep session for DP300, administering Microsoft Azure SQL Server solutions. My name is Barbara Andrews, and I'm a Microsoft technical trainer here at Microsoft. Let's get started. This is DP300, administering Microsoft Azure SQL solutions, Microsoft official exam prep. I'd like to start by reviewing where this exam prep video series fits within your certification journey on your way to becoming an Azure Database Administrator Associate. You may have taken Microsoft Azure Data Fundamentals, which is our optional starting point. You may have also taken the official Microsoft training, either self-paced or online, or instructor-led. In addition, you should have hands-on experience in the areas listed here. Then comes this video. You're here. Welcome. The official exam prep. This video series is meant to help prepare you
Oh,
functional group review of the DP300 exam. Let's review now the functional groups that will be covered on this exam and what specifically you need to know. Functional groups, by the way, are the main grouping of topics and concepts included in the exam. Here's a closer look. The functional group breakdown and weighting of skills to be covered on the DP300 exam fall into 5 functional groups. Functional group number 1 plan and implement data platform resources is weighted at 20 to 25% of the exam. Functional Group 2, implement a secure environment, is weighted at 15 to 20% of the exam. Functional Group 3, monitor, configure, and optimize database resources, is weighted at 20 to 25% of the exam. Functional Group 4, configure and manage automation of tasks, is weighted at 15 to 20% of the exam, while Functional Group 5, plan and configure a high availability and disaster recovery environment, is weighted at 20 to 25% of the exam. You may notice that Functional Group number 1, 3, and 5 are all weighted the same at 20 to 25% of the exam, while Functional Group number 2 and 4 are weighted the same at 15 to 20% of the exam. The relative weighting of each group highlights what percentage of questions will be on each functional group. Note that while certain groups may have a higher weighting, you still need to be familiar with all 5 functional groups. Now, let's take a peek at our first functional group and the skills being measured. Our first functional group is plan and implement data platform resources. Please note, the bullets that follow each of the skills measured are intended to illustrate how we will be assessing each of the skills. The list is not definitive nor exhaustive. Here are the concepts we will review in this group. Plan and deploy Azure SQL Database solutions, configure resources for scale and performance, and plan and implement a migration strategy. Let's explore our first topic in this functional group, plan and deploy Azure SQL Database solutions. To deploy database offerings on selected platforms, you need to select the most appropriate database offering based on business requirements. As shown on the screen, SQL Server on an Azure VM, Azure SQL Database, and Azure Managed Instance all have different capabilities of core resources for compute, networking, and storage. Please note when to choose each one. Remember too, the level of infrastructure administration and the degree of cost effectiveness are 2 factors that also distinguish different service offerings. Take, for instance, SQL Server on an Azure VM. This offers you full management and control of your VM, including the operating system, SQL, and the database, to name a few. By contrast, Azure SQL Database offers built-in automation for configuration, patching, upgrading, tuning, backup, and more. And lastly, the Azure SQL Managed Instance offers you more control, like SQL Server on an Azure VM, and built-in automation like Azure SQL Database. For the exam, know the features, the differences, and when to choose each database option, given the business requirements presented in the exam scenario. Next, let's focus our attention now on another SQL database offering, Azure SQL Edge. Azure SQL Edge is another database offering that is an optimized relational database engine designed for Internet of Things workloads. It is a containerized Linux app that runs on a process based on ARM64 or x64. It has built-in data streaming, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and analytics. It is optimized for the Internet of Things use cases and workloads by providing real-time data insights and capturing continuous data streams. Note that Azure SQL Edge provides capabilities to stream, process, and analyze relational and non-relational data, such as JSON. It is also built on the latest version of the SQL Server database engine, and it provides T-SQL programming, industry-leading performance, security, and query processing capabilities. It also works with T-SQL syntax and is portable. It also supports solutions that work with or without network connectivity and provides data sync options. Note its capabilities, benefits, and when Azure SQL Edge is the right database choice, given your business requirements for the exam.
All right, guys. So basically, this is enough information for this lab. So let's go ahead and continue with the lab, with the next lab. So let's go ahead and just hit next. So student will process, bang, bang, bang. Students will configure basic resources needs to deploy the Azure SQL Database and virtual endpoint. So from the connect to the page. Okay, I got this one. So it's already been. Oh, let's get out of here. Yeah, now I got it. Okay, so now it says we got to create a virtual network. It's on the subscription. So on settings, we go to subnet. And then where do we go? So click on the default subnet. The subnet address when you see edit subnet page. All right. It says in the edit subnet pane expand. Service endpoint. Okay, guys, so now let's go next. Microsoft Azure Database. So now in SQL Database. Just click on create new. So give it this name. Method. Use SQL authentication. Hmm. Yes, how was misspelled this? So integrated with a private DNS zone, yes. Mhm. Mhm. The default. This is done. So on the additional settings page, select simple. So simple. Let's go on additional. This one. Mhm. On the use existing data option, hit OK. Already did. So let's just view and create. So create. So the deployment is in progress. So let's see. Okay. Okay. So now we go to resources. All right, guys. So thank you so very much for giving me your attention. So I know it was a long lab, but hopefully it was helpful. So I'll see you in the next lab. Bye-bye.